there's so many different keys in books. Like, and again, where I come from an environment where, again, being the smart one, being the nerd, being the one that reads is not seen as a cool thing.
100%.
And this is where in our culture, we preach the wrong shit. We preach the popping bottles because, again, we're trying to impress other people, because we're trying to live for other people. We preach consuming drugs because for whatever reason that's cool, and fucking up your body is cool.
It's crazy. It's insane.
So it's like the reason why we are in this cycle when it comes to our culture is because we repeat the same stuff and we're preaching the wrong things. And I'm telling you, 50 Cent, which I'm a big fan of 50 Cent, I read one of his books and he said, in this book, I've given all the keys to success. But I promise you tell somebody from the hood to read this book, they won't read it.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Sheesh.
That all the keys, basically all these books are mentors.
100%.
You have mentors in all these books.
Here.
That all you have to do is just read.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the E-Formula podcast. It's your host Mohamadi. This is the episode where I introduce you to entrepreneurs with inspiring stories, entrepreneurs that have built successful businesses, and entrepreneurs that have paved the way, built systems through which you, as an aspiring entrepreneur or a current entrepreneur that are looking for other ventures to get involved, to follow, to replicate the success they're having. My guest today is someone special. The first day that we met, we pushed a boat in the ocean.
Yep.
It's an incredible story. It doesn't sound real.
Indeed.
We pushed a boat in the ocean, and maybe you get to hear a little bit of that story. But Cris, welcome to the show.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
When I started the podcast, you was one of the first people that I had in mind.
Thank you.
I need to get Cris out here because the story, like how you, like the old situation, how you transcended against all the odds.
Yeah.
To build the empire that you have built.
Yes, thank you.
Before we get into some questions,
yeah,
why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? Who's Cris?
Yeah, so I'm Cris Munoz. I consider myself a hustler, somebody that doesn't really have any limitations. I have a massive abundance when it comes to self-belief. I believe that anything that you want to do in life, you could definitely get it done.
100%.
I come from an environment where it's a less privileged environment, an environment where there's barely any hope, there's barely any success. So I'm from the Dominican Republic, a town called Rincon La Vega. And that is a town where kids don't even have the proper nutrition to actually grow.
Wow.
Like if you see a 12-year-old, you probably think he's 8.
Wow.
That's how bad it is, right? But I always knew that I wanted something bigger, and that I had the magic in me that God gave me to influence and impact other people, and also level up myself and also level up those around me. So,
I love that. You already heard the name of the company, right? Level Up.
Yes, indeed.
I know, like I've seen a lot of the conferences that you have done, packed rooms of people that are just willing and committed to learn. And you showed up, you host like 3 days events, handhold people through the process, and show them exactly what you're doing and how you was able to build this empire. I'm excited. This channel, a lot of people are watching this. Some of them are already entrepreneurs. Some of them are thinking about becoming an entrepreneur. And, why don't you share with us the idea, when did Cris know that he wanted to be an entrepreneur? And what was the first thing you decided to try in your entrepreneurial journey?
I always knew that I wanted to become an entrepreneur. I always knew that I had it in me to make my own money and to be financially stable. I always knew that. When my dad left us at the age of 12, 13, I was working at a sneaker store.
Bro, we have that in common.
Really?
I work in the sneaker store.
Really?
My first job in America.
That's amazing. So did I, man. When I was 12, 13 years old, and I was working in a very dangerous block on 161st and 4 Washington. And I was 12 years old, and I was actually the manager of a sneaker store at that age. But that sneaker store was actually...
That should stay a lot while you're all managing a store.
Yeah, because I had to bring money back home. You know, we didn't have the money to be able to sustain ourselves. I remember I was sleeping on a mattress with my brother and stuff like that because my dad left us, right? And we were going through that transition. So I told myself, I got to go out there and get it. You know, so I was always in love with fashion and sneakers. So I felt like it was, you know, it was natural for me to lead a sneaker store. And honestly, that sneaker store was actually a cover-up. They were actually selling drugs through that sneaker store. And I was part of the process.
Wow.
Right? And honestly, it was a very unfortunate event, but I honestly learned so much about communication, how to sell, how to do so many different things. Because again, I was the manager of that store.
Wow.
You know? Then I was in New York City. I'm telling you, New York City is an environment that, or back then I should say, I mean, it's still pretty bad now, but it's just an environment where it's so dangerous and you're fighting so many different challenges.
100%.
That's really, really hard for you to grow up with a good mind, if you will.
100%.
Right?
100%.
And I grew up in that. And I knew, and I told myself, the second I get the opportunity to leave New York City, I will. But not to just leave it and forget about it, to leave New York City and find the resources, find the knowledge that I can then bring back to my community.
Powerful.
You know,
that's
so
the purpose.
Yeah. And in high school, I was always a 4.0 student. I knew that learning was cool.
Yeah.
If you look at now, if you are a nerd or if you learn, if you're smart, like that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It's like society. It's like I just cannot wrap my head around it.
No.
So many things are so like all over the place right now.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned something really interesting. You was raised by a single mother.
Yes, single mother. Yeah.
Wow. You know, something that I like we was talking about this earlier. I'm genuinely worried about the future of, you know, the kids, that like literally the future of this country, literally.
Yeah.
When you think about 20, 30 years ago, you have single mothers that would stand for the kids, would do everything to have the kids go through school.
Yeah.
And today, and the generation of single mothers to come is literally not going to be anywhere close to those single mothers.
Yeah.
They have not finished
Yep.
scrolling through Instagram. They have not went through the Kardashian stories, you know, series. They have not finished trying to find the next guy to fly out to Miami to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? They have not finished
Yeah.
finding out what guy they're going to go to the club with, let alone raise a child.
Yeah.
And this is what's going to happen. They're chasing, they're going after men to get kids, to pretty much get child support money.
Yeah.
Not thinking about the responsibility that comes with having a child without a father.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's powerful, man.
Yeah. And that goes to everybody. I think there's a lot of people that they don't really know who themselves are.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? Like, what's your true identity? You know, what are your beliefs? What are your values? What are your morals? Like, what's your purpose in life? What do you want to do? How are you going to better this world?
You know, I feel like there are a lot of people are just so busy.
Yeah.
Busy being busy and not busy being productive in the sense of figuring out life.
And also, they're not being present.
Yeah.
They're not being present. When you're not being present and you're just playing the rat race that everybody's playing, you don't really get to live. That's why I tell people all the time, are you really living life?
Yeah.
Are you taking advantage of the magic that we have?
100%.
Because it's not about money. I'm telling you, even, you know what's crazy? Even when my family was at a very low financial state, we still had fun.
Wow.
We still enjoyed life. Even when I go back home to New York City, my favorite dish is ordering chicken broccoli from the local Chinese store.
Wow.
I love that. And I do that to this day.
Genuinely happy.
It completes me. It makes me whole.
A steak from Nurse would not be able to fill that void.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, forget about Nobu downtown.
Wow.
I've been there countless of times. It doesn't fulfill me. It doesn't complete me, right? And that's the thing, as we said earlier, there are people that are living life for others. They're not really living
100%.
life or doing things for themselves.
100%.
And that's the biggest problem.
And, it's a big subject to expand. When you think about, I always say, try to define what's fun for yourself.
Yep.
Define what's fun for yourself so you get to do that and make it a priority for you to do that.
Yep.
And when you lay out your boundaries and people know that when it comes to you, this is how you enjoy yourself, and you're not going to enjoy yourself based on whatever enjoyment they think it's going to be fun for you.
Yeah.
They'll start coming to your world and they'll start realizing that there's a lot more to enjoy than what they think it's enjoyable.
And especially in the small things.
Oh, yeah.
Like one thing you do is you like seeing the sunrise.
Yeah.
I'm sure that completes you. That makes your day a lot better, right?
Just think about this, right? You wake up at 6, take a 20-minute drive early when there's nobody on the road.
Yep.
Drive up the bridge and go to the beach. The sun haven't come out yet. Just imagine that feeling.
Yeah.
You walking at the beach before the sunrise.
Yeah.
You sitting down and just watching the sunrise. Like if I was to ask you, in the last 30 days, have you watched the sunrise? If you have not, please do yourself a favor and watch the sunrise at least once a week.
Yep.
And see how much impact that's going to have in your life. It's
Yeah.
powerful.
It is. It is.
You seeing the sunrise and tells that you are fully awake before the sun have risen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Compare that to somebody that got out of bed at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. And I was rushing to work, and now they have a rushed life, which is honestly what most people have. People live a life where you wake up so late that you're rushing absolutely everything. You even rush how you brush your teeth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And like a rushed life is literally a life without mindfulness.
Indeed.
And mindfulness is a very powerful state, like word of mine. I have a book here called Mindfulness, and it really, really have helped me to see life in a very different way.
Yeah.
Just thinking of the picture that we walk around all the time, right? Let's say you're walking around Brickell, for instance. Have you ever stopped and just think about, like, wow, I like the way this building and the trees are all like streamlined, aligned. It's beautiful.
Yep.
We just say, oh, this is pretty, and we don't take it in.
And we just continue. Yeah.
We just continue.
Yeah.
But if you spend a couple of minutes to be mindful,
Yeah.
you realize that, oh wow, there's this bird on the tree making this beautiful sound.
Yeah.
Oh, there's this water running.
Yeah.
And you can really enjoy it. And it's things that you're not gonna notice.
Indeed.
I walk around Key Biscayne here and have seen a shark like 2 times or 3 times. I see beautiful blue fishes in the morning. Blue fishes around like in the morning in the water.
Right.
You see school of fishes, like 25 of them, big fishes just going. I'm like, how many people don't get to see that? When was the last time you saw a fish swim in real life? And yet you live next to it. But because we're super busy, we never get to really put our feet in the ground and really enjoy what is meant for us to enjoy.
Yeah, and capitalize off the small things around you.
100%.
Yeah.
Because we are like we was made to live in nature, and we built all this stuff to put ourselves in it, and we wonder why we're depressed. Like you're not supposed to be in this type of environment. You're supposed to run naked with maybe a couple of things covering yourself through the woods somewhere, and defend your child, defend the little ones, and strive to reproduce. Today it's sad to see a lot of people, I don't want to have kids.
Yeah.
It's like, why you don't want to have kids?
Yeah.
If your parents have taken that approach, you would not be here. And it's a responsibility for us to keep the generations going.
Yeah.
Wow, we got
in there.
We got in there deep, right? We can really take this to a whole different level. Well, let's come back to, Cris. I see right now you have LevelUp.
Yep.
LevelUp Academy.
Yep.
You have LevelUp, platform.
Yeah.
How did you get into trading? And the first things, do you focus on crypto or on stock?
Oh, we do a lot, man.
Everything.
We do a lot. Honestly, if you look at LevelUp Enterprises, LevelUp is essentially all the things that I've been able to implement in my own life that have helped me level up.
Wow.
And I just turned that into a business, into an empire, into an ecosystem, right? Because right now, LevelUp Enterprises is both a personal development and also an entrepreneurial group.
Wow.
And now within that entrepreneurial group, we expose you to different pillars.
Different opportunities,
avenues, vehicles, right? So for example, if you want to learn how to invest in stocks long term, we show you how to do that and how to build wealth doing that, right? We showed you, if you want to make money every single day and you want to trade, we show you how to trade, not just stocks, but crypto, futures, Forex. We trade everything under the sun, and we have admins and experts that are part of the team.
Wow.
If you want to fix your credit is the #1 barrier in America.
100%.
We help you fix your credit and understand credit. There's people that do not understand credit and how to leverage credit to their advantage.
Wow.
So we teach you that proper education, again, the education that back in my community people don't have. I'm trying to propagate that.
Wow.
Right? Because think about the single mom that she's trying to make it and she's doing whatever it takes, but she doesn't have that proper knowledge to actually go ahead and have a proper credit profile to be able to apply for the home that she wants for her family. Those are the things that I think about. I don't think about the money. Listen, the money's going to come regardless.
The money is going to come regardless.
I think about what's the purpose, what's the impact that I'm making, how am I impacting lives? How am I changing lives?
Wow.
That's the key.
That's powerful. You know, a lot of people sell products and the common mistake that you see is people selling their product. You know, if you're selling your product, we build a website. You do not tell somebody, oh, we build a website, we're going to build a website for you, right? It's like, okay, website sounds cool.
Yeah.
But they don't want to buy a website. They want to buy a vehicle that can work and get them clients, get them lead while they're sleeping.
Yep.
And that's why you should sell them, right? So when you mention, you know, you don't look at pretty much the money part, you're looking at the end goal.
Yeah, impact.
And you know, one thing that I've heard that is really interesting along the same line is, I think it was, let me say, maybe I'll remember from who it's from, is like, treat people as ends, not as the mean. Treat people as the end, not as the mean.
Right.
You know, when you treat people like an end, you're doing something something for somebody to have, for the end being the person, not using the person as the mean to an end.
To get you to where you want.
To get you to where you want.
Got it.
So it's like, it's really powerful. So when did you start the Level Up idea? Where did the word Level Up came from?
Level Up came from, so there's a phrase that I usually say, and it's you versus you. And I think everybody...
You versus you.
I say that everywhere.
100%.
Listen, you versus you, you versus you. And I will always drop motivation to all of my homeboys.
Nice.
Since I was a kid, people would tell me, bro, listen, you need to become a motivational speaker or something. Because I will always... We were in the hood, and I'm ingraining them in motivation. Like, listen, it doesn't stop here.
It doesn't stop here.
Like, we're way too fucking talented to stop here. There's no way.
Wow.
Like, we have way too much magic to stop here.
Stop here?
The world is full of opportunity. Listen, the world is yours. That's what I would tell them. And they will get fired up, and they'll be like, yo, Cris. And again, this is where being a leader is. We need more leaders.
100%.
Because then we will have a more effective world.
Yep.
You know? And you versus you came from that. You were the only obstacle stopping yourself from getting to where you want to be. And as you said earlier in the previous conversation, which again was a delightful conversation, we know the things that we need to stop doing that's holding us back. And we know the things that we need to start doing to get us where we want to be, but we don't do them.
That's powerful.
Why is that?
That's powerful. I'm gonna quote Cup Meyer again. One of my favorite interview, video that I watch. And Cup Meyer, he's in the field of leadership studies, and he created 4 books, right? Like it's like series of books called 250 Rules of Success.
Yep.
Right? And he created 4 books totaling 1,000 rules. And he had an interview and they was asking him, like, 1,000 rules, it sounds like really interesting. But like, is certain rules more important than others? And he's like, there's one rule that if you don't master that rule, all the 99 other rules, 999 other rules would not do you any good.
Wow.
I was like, wow, what is that one rule? And I know all of you guys are
What
excited.
is it? Yeah.
Excited to hear about that rule. And he's like, do what you know you should do, when you should do it, whether you like it or not. Yeah. Do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And that's literally, if that doesn't fire you up, I want to have what you're having.
Indeed, please.
Oh, like this, I was like, wow. Literally everything, anything that we would ever do, would only start from here.
Yeah.
If we know we should do something and we don't do it, when we should do it, it becomes irrelevant.
But then what else are you doing? When you don't do the things that you're supposed to be doing, you're disrespecting yourself.
100%.
You're disrespecting those that believe in you.
100%.
Those that rely on you. That's why every single time I'm all about execution. And I hate wasting time. And when I waste time, I feel like I'm disrespecting those people that rely on me, the people that believe in me, the people around me, my family, things of that nature.
Yeah, that's powerful. It's like, it's easy to lie to other people. Easy. But lying to yourself, it's not a business you want to get into. Because you're going to be with yourself 24/7.
Yep.
24/7. And the last thing you want to ever do is lose respect for yourself.
Yeah.
Because when you lose respect for yourself, guess what?
Yeah.
There's already a long line of people that doesn't respect you.
Yeah.
And you go ahead and line up behind those people.
Mm-hmm. And actually, those that are actually watching, I highly encourage you to do an exercise after this podcast. Take 10, 15 minutes by yourself in solitude and actually audit your life. And I put a post yesterday, how to level up. You first have to audit your life.
100%.
Become surgical when it comes to your life and what's not performing. And again, as you said earlier, you know exactly what you need to stop doing.
100%.
Write those things down, be militant to that, and stop doing them, and then start doing the things that you know that you should start actually doing.
100%. And that, to help you do that better, I believe we have two identities.
Yep.
We have two identities, and there is the one identity that want to do the things we know we should do, and there's one identity that want to do the things we know we shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
And for you to be able to take control, you have to sit all of them in a table and just discuss it and find common grounds. Mm-hmm. And when you ask yourself, if you have these two versions of yourself sitting, ask yourself, what's the worst outcome that we all don't want to have to deal with?
Which ties me to the motivation
right.
piece we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
And I definitely want you to emphasize on that. Motivation fades.
100%. Nobody's going to be motivated. If you meet somebody if you come across somebody that tells you they're always motivated,
that's a lie.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
You're not going to be motivated. But I have a very effective way to hack motivation. Yeah. If I feel demotivated, I'm like, okay, I know I should do this, but I'm not motivated in getting it done.
Yeah.
Let's think about the consequences of my demotivation. And when you start thinking about those consequences and do yourself a favor and take that consequence to the extreme.
Yeah.
Losing your house type of shit.
Yeah.
Losing your health type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take it down there, you're like, if I don't go to the gym today, I'll be like one of those people that are 50 overweight.
Yeah.
The legs are shot and they're sitting in a retirement home at 50.
Yeah. Yeah. And what does Robin Sharma says is that when you don't have optimal physical and mental health, that is probably the biggest vulnerability that you can have.
100%.
It's not being fit.
100%. And you see, if you have, we was doing this earlier, right? Imagine you have your health, physical health, you have mental health, you have spiritual health, and you have, financial health. This is definition to success, I would say, is those four things.
Right.
have to, have all these four aspects.
Indeed.
Or we spend 80% on the monetary aspect, right? Or we spend 80% of our time working, like building our life around work. And guess what? Do you think 20% is enough for us to figure out our physical health, for us to figure out our mental health,
Right.
for us to figure out our relationship with God, our creator,
Yeah.
or whatever you believe in? And we haven't even talked about relationships.
Right. Right.
We haven't even talked about a relationship with yourself, let alone the relationship with other people.
Mm-hmm.
All of that, you have to find a way to include it in that 20%. You see how challenging that can be.
Yeah.
So that's why my commitment is to every single one of you guys that is watching this, explore the realm of entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship will set you free and give you a purpose.
Yep. Yep.
When you get to detach your time from your ability to make money, when you get to detach your place from your ability to make money, you create more time for yourself and more space for yourself to be able to do things that are mostly important to you, like taking care of your health, your physical health, your mental health, and actually working on a purpose. That's powerful.
It is. It is. And there's beauty in that.
100%. When you can wake up in the morning and you just don't need to rush.
Wow. It's crazy you said that. Like, just the fact of not even rushing.
Yeah.
That's just.
Imagine, like, literally, I believe that the hardest thing to do become the easiest thing to do when everybody else is doing it.
Mm.
And the easiest thing to do become the hardest thing to do when nobody's doing it.
Right.
When you think about rushing, everybody's rushing.
Yeah.
And rushing becomes very easy.
Mm-hmm.
And being calm is like a lot hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to wake up and you get to a position in your life where you're like, I'm not rushing. You get up, sit for a nice 15 minutes, get your tea, watch the sunrise, right? And just think about how the day is going to look like.
Yeah.
Prepare yourself for the day.
Yep.
Right, you get to 100% have a different outcome in life than waking up at 9, trying to rush to your first meeting to the second meeting. It's going to play out through the day.
And it's crazy you mentioned that because I had success before, right? I was working at Microsoft. I'm still working at Microsoft. 7 years as a senior product manager in cybersecurity.
Wow.
Right? And I got into Microsoft at the age of 20.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, 7 years, man. 7 years. I got into Microsoft at the age of 20 when I graduated from Michigan State University. And think about a Dominican kid, because I went to college at the age of 16.
Wow.
Going to Michigan State University, one of the largest campuses in the world. It was tough.
It's tough.
It was tough. I did not see people like us.
Yeah.
It was predominantly white college, and I didn't feel like I was able to fit in, but I still made my way, and we actually founded the first technology group at Michigan State University called Leaders in IT.
Wow.
So I've always had that drive for just creating things, and making ideas come to life. Like that's always been my thing. Like, what we got to do? Let's do it. Say less. Say less. Like, what's the problem?
Where do we start?
Yeah. When do we? Matter of fact, you want to start right now? Let's start right now. That's how I am, right? And I've always had that mentality, And after I got into Microsoft, that's when I really started to understand how critical it is to get up early and dedicate yourself time. Because I used to be the one that I would join a meeting. If I had a meeting, let's say with the government of Trinidad, at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'll wake up at 8:55.
Wow.
Swear to God, 8:55. And again, this is why self-development is so critical, because if I think back, I've grown a lot, man.
Wow.
Like, I think it's scary. And those that really know me, my brothers and my cousins, they know that I was not a morning person.
Wow.
Bro, I used to have to fight with the masters. every day it was like a fight with with my mattress and pillows. Because I love to sleep, and I was not a morning person. Then I came across one of our favorite authors, Robin Sharma.
5 a.m. Club. I just give that up. Give it up to my friend.
Which we hope to meet you one day. And
Robin
honestly,
Sharma, if you happen to come across this video, we admire you. Feature me on Instagram, and I was super happy and blessed to be part of your small group of like people that was mentioned on Instagram. And we cannot wait to meet you in person. Come to Miami.
Honestly, please do. I think people here will love to have him here. And
100%.
He changed my perspective.
5 a.m. Club, bro. It's like
I used to be like, man, there's just not enough time in a day.
Just not enough time.
And that's BS. There's more than enough time. Just wake up early. And I started waking up early, 6 a.m., then 5 a.m. Then I started to find the beauty of not getting mind you, we both have 2 phones. So that we're getting calls left and right. And 5 a.m., no calls. I'm able to sit down and journal and write down the things that I'm grateful for. Because again, I tell people all the time, gratitude is instrumental when it comes to your life. Why? Because when you are grateful, you attract more things to be grateful for.
100%. Wow.
That's
powerful. Let me take that in.
Yeah,
Wow. There is this aspect, right? Like there is 2 sides to like literally everything, right? In life, things are created in pairs.
Yeah.
Have 2 eyes, 2 nose, 2 like things are created in pairs. And the same thing applies to our ability to think. We can think about things to be ungrateful for, and we can find a bunch of them. A human being can manufacture anything out of thin air, right? And we can think about millions of other things we can be grateful for. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of perspective. You're going to look at the right, or you're going to look at the left. And when you commit to the right, guess what? You're going to see everything, a lot more things on the right.
Yeah.
And I think that relates a lot to your idea of gratitude.
I'm telling you, I think back and it's insane. Like my success it was insane. Waking up early, hitting the gym, meditating. I was getting into meditating.
The 2024.
Yeah, I was journaling. I was journaling, and then it got to a point where I was like, man,
this is dangerous.
Life is so beautiful. I started to understand how precious life is, regardless of how much money you have.
Yeah. I have this notion of unfair advantage.
Oh yeah.
I say that word maybe 10 times. If I send you an email within the last 24 hours, you're going to see unfair advantage there. Because it's like so unfair when you commit yourself to a life of learning. When you commit yourself to like seeking understanding. Because we have to grow.
Yeah.
Whatever we understand today, if it's the same understanding we have tomorrow, it's a problem.
Yes, indeed.
We have to be able to, create a little bit more understanding, and that may be a page of a book. Mm-hmm. These books is less than less than $1,000, I guess, but these books have made me literally, I would say, 1,000 times more.
Indeed.
Because just the idea that somebody have built a business, being in the business world for 60 years, learn from their expensive mistakes, and they decided to commit months to write a book.
Yeah.
And just put it in your hand for $30.
That's crazy.
It's like just insane. I don't believe there's a better gift you can give to somebody.
Yeah.
Instead of beside giving birth to a son or daughter,
right?
There's not a gift you can give to somebody that can be more impactful to them than a book.
I agree.
Bob Proctor, and his soul rests in peace, had a book that was given to him by his mentor for over 60 years. Wow. Think and Grow Rich had that book, literally imagine a 60-year-old plus book. He read it every single day. And he attributed all his success to that book.
Wow.
How much value do you think that book is to?
Oh yeah.
Was to him, right?
Yeah, and wisdom. So much wisdom.
So if you are not reading today, do yourself a favor. Start with audiobooks if you you're currently not a person that like to sit and read books, and develop the habit of reading, because there's literally nothing else that you can do right now that will be more valuable to you than getting a piece of knowledge.
Yeah.
It's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of resources and a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, and there's so many different keys in books. Like, and again, where I come from an environment where, again, being the smart one, being the nerd, being the one that reads is not seen as a cool thing.
100%.
And this is where in our culture we preach the wrong shit. We preach the popping bottles because, again, we're trying to impress other people, because we're trying to live for other people. We preach consuming drugs because for whatever reason that's cool, and fucking up your body is cool.
It's crazy. It's insane.
You know, so it's like we're preached. The reason why we are in this cycle when it comes to our culture is because we repeat the same stuff and we're preaching the wrong things. And I'm telling you, 50 Cent, which I'm a big fan of 50 Cent, I read one of his books and he said, you know, in this book, I've given all the keys to success. But I promise you, you tell somebody from the hood to read this book, they won't read it.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Sheesh.
That all the keys, basically all these books are mentors.
100%.
You have mentors in all these books.
Here.
That all you have to do is just read.
Wow. And he said nobody would read it.
No, because again, the mentality that reading is crazy. How the things that do us good in our culture are perceived to be bad. But then the things that are super bad, like getting high, popping bottles for no reason, wasting our money on liabilities, those are the cool things to do. Right? And this is the environment that we live in today, that we have to make sure that podcasts like this one definitely get shared so we can get that message out there.
100%. So if you are loving this so far, go ahead and click the like button and share button, because this is a mission. We are in a mission to pretty much not only inspire you, but empower you with like actionable steps to be able to, you know, get into entrepreneurship, because I believe that the only way we can really, really create the freedom that we want to be able to take our money, like our time, off our ability to make money, our place that we have to be off of our ability to make money, and be stuck with people we like until we get to be independent and decide to who we want to associate ourselves with. We will not be able to control what we consume.
Indeed. And you know, one thing that I mentioned was that each one of these books can be considered
a mentor. 100%.
Jordan Peterson, I read this book.
And the house.
He's my mentor. Right?
Yeah. And imagine like, all these books. See, there's another set over there.
Yeah.
Right.
And think about how people, the glamorous things when it comes to enterprises, to become the CEO or the CFO or the CISO or not the CIO or not the CTO. But aren't you the CEO of your life?
Right.
Aren't you the CFO of your life? How do you control your finances?
Literally.
So we are CEOs and CFOs and CTOs and all these C-level executive titles of our own life. We are the creator. We are at the wheel. We can do whatever we want.
And yet wow, this is powerful. You know, I haven't thought of it like that. I always, you know, talk about responsibilities, but if you're obsessed with titles, why not take that title?
And put it to your life.
Put it to your life.
Apply it to your life. You want to become the best CFO when it comes to your life? Audit your finances. What's coming in? What's coming out? If I want to purchase something, I want to budget. I also want to invest. I also want to have some sort of retirement account. I also want to make sure that I'm investing for long-term wealth and generational wealth, so that those that are coming after me, they're good to go too. That's the CFO.
That's the CFO job. Wow, this is powerful. You know, Chris, I know there's so much things we can get into.
Yeah.
You know, like when it comes to motivation, how do you get motivation?
I mean, like I said before, like, you know, like motivation fades. But my motivation comes from being better than who I was yesterday. That 1%.
The commitment of getting that 1%.
That commitment of 1%.
Getting that
How
1%.
do I, and again, probably people are thinking about 1% when it comes to money. Again, forget about the money. Money's going to come regardless.
It's about that factor. I like that.
It's going to come.
And the bank, done.
if you are an expert in a certain domain, in a certain field, in a certain career, money is going to listen, it's going to be cash flow coming in.
100%.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Right? But 1% comes from, what did I do today that's going to make me a better leader? What did I do today that's going to make me a better partner, a better son, a better friend? What are the things that I'm working on that is going to make me a better individual as a whole? Until that now, I become a value to society.
Not a liability to
Not a liability to
society.
like how most people are liabilities to society.
100%.
Because why? To lead is to what? To serve.
To serve.
You know?
And you're never going to be a leader until you learn how to serve.
Oh, 100%. I'm telling you, when I do my classes, when I do my workshops, when I'm at Microsoft, when I'm at a conference, when I'm with anywhere, I want to be of service. How can I be of value? And for those that hit me up on Instagram, I never say what's up. I always say, how can I be of value?
Boom.
How can I help? How can I enrich your life?
Wow. Think of a better way to build relationships.
That's what it is, right? Because people think about, oh, I want to, like this entrepreneur is getting money, man. I need to meet this person. If you approach life like that, you approaching life like an opportunist.
Opportunist, 100%.
Somebody that's trying to just get an opportunity. No. Build genuine relationships. That's going to lead you to actual success.
100%.
If you go for that approach when it comes to benefiting from other people, you're only going to have short-term success. You want to aspire to have longevity. And whatever you do. That's why I always go for genuine relationships. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what car you drive. I mean, we have that.
We have that.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
what is it? Like,
yeah. So wow. Those are the things that motivate me. Also, of course, where I come from. I come from a less privileged environment. I come from Washington Heights, Harlem.
Wow.
That's where I come from, bro. An area where if you're not affiliated with a gang when you're 12, 13, bro, you're getting beat up every day.
Wow.
An area where...
Pick a side.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to say this. I lived in Washington Heights. I went to school in Harlem.
Wow.
2 different gangs.
2 different gangs.
And because I saw the environment that I grew up with in Harlem, in that high school, that even if you had a Razor or a BlackBerry back then, it was gone. I saw my own friend get a gun pointed at him.
To take his phone.
Broad daylight.
Wow.
And then at 12, because I got into high school at the age of 12. Wow. At the age of 12, I got to high school. At the age of 16, I had colleagues of mine that were 21. And we were competing sports, same thing. I was still playing baseball. I was still, you see what I'm saying? So it's like I always had that drive. I always had people that were older than me and more mature than me. That's why I've always been super mature at a very early age. But me coming from that environment at 12, 13, I'm like, damn, I'm going to have to join this gang. Why? Because my brother and my cousins went to the same high school as me. So I thought to myself at a very early age, if I join this gang, not only am I getting protection for myself, but I can also protect my people too. I grew up in an environment that if we went home, we had to go home in packs.
Wow, you cannot go home alone.
Oh, if you go home alone, you're at risk of getting jumped or getting your phone stolen or getting money that your mom worked super hard for you to get it taken from you. That's where I come from. That's where my motivation comes from. Because I don't want people to go through that. So it was to the point that if one of us had detention, we all had detention because no one's going to go home by themselves. And my brother would tell me, don't get detention today.
Don't get attention.
Like don't get detention. Like I want to go home. And in those days, I would not get detention. Mind you, I was always a really, really good kid, student and everything. But again, things happen,
Things happen, yeah.
But it's like, that's where I grew up. I came from that environment. I come from that environment.
And it builds you.
It builds you. It molds you. And you're a beast.
And I think this is one of the unfair advantage. I like using the word unfair advantage a lot. That we had, that like me specifically growing up in Africa, was able to experience both sides of the spectrum, So it give us that unfair advantage. Today, a kid doesn't have the opportunity to experience that.
Yeah.
And there is a level of grit and a level of, strength that develops. And a level of know-how to deal with adversity that creates when you have to go through that.
And this is a call out. This is a call out to all the people that grew up with me and come from that environment. Here's my question. Where's that motivation? Where did it go?
Where did it go?
Because we come from the same environment. We come from the same ambiance. Where's that drive?
Wow.
How did he lose that drive when we went through fucking hell? Bro, we went through hell. I remember, and again, these are moments that I'm proud of, and that built the bond between my brother and my cousins. We all played baseball. Hungry. Bro, and we used to gather coins.
Wow.
Quarters. To be able to buy a chicken broccoli order, which was $5 back then. Wow. I think about that and I'm proud of that. Because that was genuine love, bro. There's magic in that.
There's
beauty
Putting
in it.
Money together to be able to do something.
Coming together as brothers.
You know, I think that right now there's a preach of individualism, everybody for himself, and you're never gonna be like fulfilled if you live life based on everything you can do for yourself.
Yeah.
Because if the problem is just yourself, you're easy to crush.
Indeed.
But if your problem becomes bigger than you have a reason.
Indeed.
You have a reason, and that purpose is much greater. And that purpose will lead you, motivate you to do things that cannot even believe you could do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, like you build this. When exactly did you start the Level Up?
You know what's crazy? Level Up is only a year and a half old, bro.
A year and a half old? Bro, how many students do you have?
Oh, we got 2,360 members, bro.
2,300.
One of our brands, I'm not gonna mention her name because people will know about it, but one of our brands, we had revenue of like close to 800K in 6 months.
800K in 6 months.
Without marketing. Without any system, without automation, without email marketers. Again, these are things that you learn. As an entrepreneurship, you're gonna learn about marketing.
100%.
Lead generation.
You have to.
Systems, automations, CRMs, there's so many different parts of a business that you become a student of.
100%.
And that's what I really want you to fall in love with is understanding how to run a corporation. Again, I don't come from a family where people joined Microsoft.
Yeah.
Or my dad was a CEO. No, none of that. I'm the one that was, I wouldn't even say chosen. I hate when people say that.
Chosen.
I'm the one that's brave enough to dare to even do that.
You know what's incredible? Like being from Africa, I came here in 2016. I didn't speak English, zero. And the last thing somebody would want to do like coming from Africa is try to be a marketer, get into the marketing industry. Literally my roommates, someone that you feel like it's gonna be there for you, told me that, what makes you think somebody's gonna hire you to do the marketing?
That's crazy.
You don't even speak English. You don't even speak English.
That's crazy.
You don't have a degree. Marketing, you have to study marketing. You have to get this degree before you get to be able to be hired to do marketing.
That's crazy.
And guess what? I did it.
Yes, indeed.
The African way.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
African way.
Yes, indeed. I love it, bro.
When you just have to do something, you find a way to do it.
Indeed.
You find a way to do it. And when you said you was the one that dared to give it a shot. Guess what? It happened.
And here's a question. Why not you? Like, why not you?
100%. That's a good question, right?
Why not you?
And the thing here is, guys, you like literally don't get threatened by what you don't know. Because you can easily learn. And easily learn is by choosing the way you want to start your entrepreneurial journey strategically, finding the person that you resonate with that is ahead of the curve that you can follow. And people like Cris and all the other guests that I have here have paved the way. They have made the mistake. They took the mistakes out. You know, Cris, in your program, like if you was to just give us the concept of the things that you have to experience the hard way, learn the hard way to be able to create a system that people can follow without having to fail on their own.
Well, I think we need expertise.
Expertise.
If you're going to teach somebody how to repair their credit, I would hope you've done it at least 100 times.
Right.
So the reason why I now offer that as part of the ecosystem is because my first company that I ever built was actually a credit repair company. Because I assessed my environment back in New York City and I said, man, it's hard to find a minority with good credit. That's one of the biggest barriers till this day.
Yep.
I come from an environment that if somebody gets a car, they're gonna have to put it on someone else's name because they don't have the proper credit profile to take it out themselves. I come from an environment that somebody purchases a home, they have to put it in someone else's name because that person they just do not have the credit profile.
Wow.
And here's the thing, instead of thinking about how can I actually repair my credit and learn about credit, our people, and it's so sad and very unfortunate, they'd rather just accept the problem and continue living the cycle. Wow. So my credit wasn't good. So guess what I did? I learned about credit. I fixed my own credit.
Boom. First step.
Then I fixed everyone's credit in my family. And then I found more about automation and I built my first credit repair company, which was called CM Financial Solutions.
Wow. First and last name Financial Solutions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's epic, man.
You know, so I started with that, but I think it takes a lot of expertise, a lot of failures to actually learn
lessons.
Yeah, to actually learn what actually works when it comes to trading. When it comes to trading, I'm telling you this trading, and this is how I know that I've grown, and I'm telling you, go through this journey. Go through this journey. Everyone has the magic to do it. You're just probably hesitant because you're thinking about the hard work that's going to take. And I'm telling you, that's just part of the process, right? But when I first thought about trading and I was actually introduced into trading, I didn't have the mindset that I have now. The mindset I have now is a learn it all mindset. I want to learn it all.
Everything. It doesn't matter.
I'm curious to understand how things work.
Yeah.
I used to be the one, and again, I wasn't born here. I was born in the Dominican Republic.
Wow.
People tell me, oh, Cris, you don't have an accent. I do have an accent. But I've worked so hard to sharpen my English. Because again, in Michigan State, I was the only Dominican or black or colored person out of 500 in one classroom. Wow. So I was always thinking, how do I make sure that I'm also competing and I'm sharp?
As much as possible. So
I was the one that if I heard a new word, I would write it down. And then I'll Google the word. I'll find the definition, then I'll find an example of how it's used. And the whole next week, I'm using that word.
That's it.
It was to the point that it was to the point, listen, that my brother used to be like, yup, he learned a new word. People were already finding the pattern.
They're already finding the pattern.
Because that's how surgical I was to sharpen my English and how to communicate effectively. Right?
Wow.
So things like that, right, is that you have to go through to be able to then offer a service. So when you come into Level Up, you're able to understand how to fix your credit, how to get business funding, you know, how to file for a LLC. What does it entail when it comes to entrepreneurship? You know, how do you navigate entrepreneurship? If you want to invest in long-term stocks, we show you that. If you want to learn about marketing, funnels, upsells, we do all that.
Wow.
You know, mindset, we work on mindset. We provide books for people to read, accountability partners, an entire ecosystem. Where not only do you grow as a person, but also if you have a business, you're also able to scale your business too. And level up.
The partnerships and the relationship, that the brotherhood that you have created.
Oh.
You created a community of people.
Oh man, I thank my community every day, man. I thank my community, man. We had a conference in New York City, the LevelUp conference. We had people fly out to New York City to attend our conference.
Wow.
I had my mom attend my conference. I had my aunt attend my conference. I had people from my block attend my conference.
Epic.
And it's like, people will be like, oh, bro, what the fuck is going on? Like, they're like, that's the beauty of growth.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we know you're doing things, but we didn't
think it was like this.
Yes.
And I'm like, we're just getting, listen, this is just the beginning.
I saw the Forbes, Yahoo Finance article. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been featured on Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg, Forbes. I mean, so many different outlets. Thank the Lord, you know. So it's just stuff like that that I feel like you have to really work on to be able to offer that service and offer a community that people feel like they're a part of.
100%.
You want to make sure that those people are part of the community, and then again, they're also contributing to your program.
100%. Cris, like when you sit down and think about like how far you have came, right? Like, could you have pictured this?
Yes.
When you started it?
Yes. I pictured this since I was a kid.
Wow.
I pictured this when I was in that 1-bedroom apartment in New York City, banging out push-ups.
At 13 years old.
This is expected.
That's expected.
This is an expectation. That's how personal I take things. And people call me crazy in my family, but it's just like, that's how crazy you have to be. You have to have such massive belief in yourself that it's like almost you have to be blind with faith.
Blind with faith.
You have to see something that you can't see.
100%.
When I was 14, I told people, listen, wait till I get older. And I told my mom, I cannot wait till I'm at least 18 so you can see where you're going to be at.
Wow.
And when I was 20, I was able to buy her a condo in a city in the Dominican Republic that she always wished she had one, and I bought her a condo.
Boom.
This is expected. Yes, there's times that I'm like, wow, man. Of course, you always want to reflect on your growth, but I always knew that I was going to be here, and we're just getting started.
Just getting started.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. We have so much magic, man, and so much culture.
I like you like I'm fired up already. I'm super pumped already.
Yeah. And it's that, and I'm telling you, when I'm in Thanksgiving, when I'm at Thanksgiving or a holiday with my family, I'm putting just motivation,
drilling it down.
I'm telling you,
putting the anchors, like
just like, listen, this is what we gotta do. Or if not, hey, listen, this is a project that I'm working on. I want you to be a part of it. Because it's not just you winning. We all gotta eat. The whole family gotta eat, and you gotta put people in position
to eat.
Because it doesn't make you a bigger person if you made it, or if you're in a great financial state, but those that came up with you are not doing well. That's why I always try to share every opportunity with every single person. Listen, I want you to be a part of this. I think you'll do a phenomenal job. I'll show you. I'll teach you. I'll mentor you.
Show you the way.
Yeah, I'll show you the way. I'm never a person where I'm trying to like hide back knowledge. No.
Keep the light.
No. Share the light.
Share the light. Shine the light.
Share the light, and God will bless you.
100%. So, I have this beautiful quote that I always quote. I said, share the most of what you want the most, and it'll come back to you 10 times over.
Oh yeah, 10 times fold. 1,000%.
Literally, you don't have enough time. Find a way to give someone your time.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the blessings that I had is to have Grant Cardone at 2 a.m. sat with me in a hotel lobby in New York City.
Wow.
Literally. Like 2016, I felt like I was lost trying to break into the industry, bro. And it was like, and I looked at people, was like, who do I think have answers?
Yeah.
Came up with Gary Vee, came up with Grant Cardone.
That's amazing.
And I made it my commitment to meet these people.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, Grant Cardone was in New York City, and he was on Snapchat. Back then Snapchat was hot.
Yep.
And I saw the hotel he's staying in. And I went to the hotel at 8 p.m. and sat in the lobby.
Wow.
And he came at 2 a.m.
Wow.
He went out with his friends and his wife. And the minute he walked into the lobby, I got up and was like, Mr. Grant. It's like he knew. It's like, you've been waiting for me?
Crazy.
I was like, yeah, I have a couple of questions and believe you are the only person that can answer them for me.
Wow.
He's like, how long you been here for? I was like, about 6 hours. He's like, you're crazy. If you was in Miami right now, I would have hired you right away.
Wow.
He told me that. And he's like, let me walk my wife upstairs and I'll come back down. He walked up and came back down.
Wow.
Somebody, millionaire, jet, everything, came back and shared the light with me.
That's amazing.
He sat down with me in the lobby for a good amount of time. I believe almost an hour. Just talking to me, what book are you reading? It's like, I'm reading this, I'm reading that. It's like, okay, this one is outdated. This is the one you should read right now.
Wow.
This is what you should do. This is what you should do. And at the end, I literally didn't even get that idea. I was like, I didn't even get that idea. I was like, oh, I'm more than pleased. And he's like, where's your phone? And I pick up my phone and I give it to him. He's like, this guy's gonna have some massive success in his life, folks. Follow him. Grant, at that time, I don't know, maybe I had like negative something in my bank account.
Wow.
And today we are here.
Yes, indeed.
Right? And it's all about sharing the light.
It is.
And
propagate that.
The bigger you get, the bigger your light is.
Oh yeah.
And the more people you can shine the light on.
Yeah.
So things like LevelUp Academy, it's really, really powerful.
Definitely. Thank you, man. Thank you.
You know, the commitment. I know it's not easy. There's a lot of other things that you could be doing to make you a lot more money than what that would do for you. But you made a commitment to do that.
Yeah. And
that's the same commitment that, you know, streams to things like that. We've been here for like a good amount of time.
Definitely.
Really like going through this for people to be able to get something out of this that they can leverage.
Indeed.
And, you know, contribute to the business and
Indeed,
personal life. So guys, me and Cris can go all day.
Yes, we can.
But
we can.
We want to make this short so you can really enjoy it. But if you enjoy this, share it with any friend that you believe should hear this, should see this. If you're listening to the podcast, share it to anybody that you think should listen to this. And comment, like, and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. And we have the eFormula Facebook group. You can request to join. You're going to see the link in the description, and I will add you to the group. Cris is going to be there. Every single guest in the podcast is going to be there. And the commitment is to be able to create this community of entrepreneurs that can help other entrepreneurs start their journey. We will do a workshop.
Indeed, yes.
That you guys would be able to enjoy as well after this. So, Cris, thank you for coming.
Thank you, brother.
This is powerful.
Appreciate you, man.
I'm glad we got to do this. And again, the custom. We have a custom that I just started. Every guest that came to the podcast will have access to my library.
Yes, indeed.
Cris had the opportunity to drive and look into it. I have a set of books here. You see, and more on the other side. And Cris got through all of them, and he decided to pick 12 More Rules for Life Beyond Order by Jordan Peterson, an incredible book. And I would suggest that you read it if you haven't read it yet. It's a powerful book. And Cris, why don't we do another episode so you can share a little bit about what you have gotten
indeed. I'll be journaling. I'll be taking all this in, and then I'll definitely be bringing back the insights as well.
Amazing, bro. Thank you for
coming, brother. Thank you, brother.